Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner, a place where we talk about anything and everything that is geek, whether it be comics, TV, movie, or video games. And as everybody knows, in the last episode, I kind of raked DC over the coals of what they're doing with the new 52 and everything, and kind of raked Dan Didio over what he's doing with DC and everything with his new 52 mess. And everybody already knows, like I said, I've said it plenty of times, I despise New 52. I hate it. And one of the things that really makes me mad about New 52 is that they've completely mangled and messed up the multiverse. And pre-52, they had a whole 52 worlds that they could have done something with. And this week I'm going to kind of go into detail about one of DC's biggest missed opportunities. And that missed opportunity is the multiverse. I mean, after 52, they established that the multiverse had indeed returned in a weird way, and it because of the moth, Mr. Mind, it turned into a moth and went around consuming time out of different realities. They actually warped them into different DC stories that had already happened, and Elseworld story. And what they did was they took every DC Elseworld story that was so fan favorite and popular, and made them into parts of the multiverse. And they gave them their each individual Earth. Like they had the original multiverses. Like the original multiverse Earths, like Earth 2 and Earth 3 and Earth 5, and was like the Shazam Earth, and was like, but they had some other ones too. Like Earth 12 is the Batman Beyond Earth. That's the Earth with the series. And everybody remembers Batman Beyond was a pretty good series. They know that it takes place in the future and everything. That's the one Earth that they actually took advantage of and have since made several spin-off series of, like Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond, and Superman. I think it was Justice League Beyond, Superman Beyond, and Batman Beyond, of course. That's the only Earth they've really took advantage of, and it's even still in existence even with the new 52, thankfully. Because that's actually a pretty good, interesting thing, especially Superman Beyond, because everybody knows how big a fan of Superman I am, and how big a fan I am of alternate versions of Superman. And other than a couple of others, this is the only semblance of the original classic Superman that is still around in the DC universe. And I think the only reason he still exists is because he is as old as he is. He's old, and he's not wearing the red and blue in the trunks. So, and he's wearing that black and white futuristic costume that he's wearing now. I think that's the only reason they let him stay around. They ain't tried to alter him. But there have been several missed opportunities. And I'm going to say, there was another opportunity they took advantage of, Kingdom Come. They actually took Earth 22 and the Superman from that world and actually made somewhat of a sequel, you might say a sequel, to Kingdom Come out of it. And it was a spectacular story. It was a great story. I don't know why in the world Jeff Johns even got involved in this new 52, because he's a great writer. I mean, Green Lantern has had its most successful run with him as the head writer. And I don't know why in the world he decided to mess up the new 52 and mess up DC Universe and new 52. But I think he was instrumental in this book, along with Alex Ross doing the artwork. I mean, it was great. It was a great story, great artwork. I loved it. I especially loved the ending, but I ain't going. If you ain't already read it, I ain't going to spoil the ending. Go read it for yourself. It's a great story. It's a great story. I think it's called Thy Kingdom Come. It's in the JSA. It's under Justice League of America. Thy Kingdom Come. I think it's split up in like 3 parts. Three little thin books you probably get for like $15 a piece. Go buy them, please. Go buy them. And they even dabble a little bit in Earth 2 in that book, but they didn't go into depth. Too in depth into that. I mean, and I said, the way they did the multiverse kind of during that time, they hop, skipped, and jumped over every little thing. They could have very well have done something really big with a lot of them books with a lot of the Earths, but they never really went in depth. I mean, there's some of them you can't really go any more in depth than you already have. Like, take Earth 30. I mean, that's the red sun Earth. That's the red sun Earth. That on that Earth is where Superman landed in the Soviet Union, but became a Soviet, a raised a Soviet, a communist, essentially. And there's not much in depth you get in that story without reading the actual book itself. If you know the actual book, you know that Earth. And like Earth 31, where it's the Dark Knight Returns Earth, in which Superman's working for the president, and everybody knows the Dark Knight Returns story. I mean, there's several ones in there that you already know by heart and don't really need to get me more in depth into them. But there's so many other ones that could have got me more in depth, like the Shazam Earth. I mean, in Countdown Arena, they actually had a Green Lantern come from that Earth. I find that very interesting. The fact that they had a Green Lantern on the Shazam Earth, which everybody thought was just Shazam and the Bulleteers. The Shazam family and the Bulleteers were the only superheroes from Earth. The fact that there's a Green Lantern on that Earth makes it even more interesting. And to show you how kind of confusing that I mentioned last time, I railed against Dan Didio for making stuff confusing in Countdown. Here's another confusing moment. I forgot to mention in that show. The fact that they had in Countdown Adventure, I think it was Countdown. I can't even remember what name of the book now. It was one of the Countdown spinoffs. I can't remember what it was now. Countdown to Adventure, I think it was called. Forerunner from the Countdown books. It was going all over assembling people for Monarch, assembling them an army. She wound up on the Earth where on Earth 10, where the Nazis won World War II, and who should they have in there but what they call JL-Axis, the Nazi Justice League. And one of the ones right prominent front and center is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, swastika-wearing Superman in a gray and red costume. Well, he does appear later on in Countdown in that big war on Earth 51 where it winds up getting destroyed. But here's the confusing part. Later on, when they did Final Crisis, and they did the spin-offs, and they did a kind of spin-off Superman Beyond in the Final Crisis thing, and they had to team up all these different Supermen right there front and center. As everybody knows, if anybody ever read Countdown, Earth 10 Superman was dead. He was a hardcore Nazi, and he was dead. And then Superman Beyond comes up, and all of a sudden, they've got another one. Out of nowhere, Earth 10 has another Superman that named Overman. That he once again he leads the Nazi. And to tell you the truth, I'm gonna put it to you straight like this: Overman ain't nothing but an Earth 10 version of Red Sun, except instead of being a Soviet, he's a Nazi. He looks just like him in every bit, from the hair to the uniform to the fact that he runs a Nazi-led Earth. He is exactly a carbon copy of Red Sun. And I just don't get that. That's what's so confusing about that, but I'm not going to go any more in depth on any Dan Didio bashing on this show anymore. I'm just going to go into missed opportunity, but I just found that very confusing. I forgot to mention that last time. The fact that there have been two Earth 10 Supermen, both Nazis. One is the hardcore blonde Nazi, and one is the black-haired, almost like Red Sun, kind of somber, regrets he's even a Nazi type Superman. Like I said, I just found that real confusing. I thought I'd throw that in there from last time. I didn't mention last time, but still, they could have gone more in depth on. But with Earth 10, they could have gone even more in depth into that. How in the world they wound up that way? How did they wind up how did they wind up becoming Nazis? How'd you wind up with a blonde Superman that wound up being a Nazi? How'd you wind up with a Wonder Woman basically called Valkyrie? How'd you wind up with Nazi Flash and basically a Nazi Justice League? How'd you wind up with that? I mean, later on they even discovered there's a Nazi Batman they call Leatherwing. How did they wind up with that? That would have been more interesting if they delved into that a little bit more too. And ones like in Countdown Search for Ray Palmer, they went into ones like Red Rain. We already know, and then Earth 3 and the Crime Syndicate. And then it came to Earth 3 and the Crime Syndicate universe. One they came to was, like I said, was Earth 3. That would have been interesting had they delved more into that. I mean, they delved more into Lord Havoc and the Extremists from Earth 8 than they did this. I mean, they changed in Earth 3. They changed it a little bit. They actually gave a little bit more of an origin story. The fact that Joker's a good guy and Owlman's a bad guy, and the fact now they give him a sidekick named his own Robin named Talon. I found that very interesting, and the fact that they alluded to that Duella Dent is the one that called herself the Joker's daughter really is the Joker's daughter, but from another Earth. They alluded she's from another Earth, and it was she instead of being a Joker's daughter, she's a Jokester's daughter. And I found that very interesting when they did all that. That the villains are the heroes and the heroes are the villains. They should have done more with that. I think they should have delved more into that and maybe given it a more fleshed out origin story than what they did. And like I said, and then the Earth 51 universe, a universe where all crime has been eradicated. All crime, where a Batman who, in response to Jason Todd getting killed by the Joker, goes and shoots the Joker right between the eyes. Takes a .45 and shoots him right between his eyes. And then in more response, he basically goes underground in his own bunker, Warlock bunker, and declares war on crime on that Earth. And essentially wipes it clean. I mean, they show in the book that he actually, in Countdown, he actually wiped that world clean of crime. Killed. They said no more Legions of Doom, no more Injustice gangs, no more secret societies. He essentially wiped out crime himself. And of course it led into that whole thing later with Monarch against the Monitors and everything. But it showed that he, I said, it would have been interesting to actually see if they actually gone into more details of how he did. I mean, to show you that, like everything's at peace on the Earth. Like I said, everything's at peace. Zatanna was even in retirement and kind of let go a little bit and just relaxed a little. I said they won't know more crime. And like I said, it would have been great to see that, to see how Batman eradicated crime on that Earth without the Justice League's approval. And another Earth they showed him going to an action countdown was Earth 15, which was actually eradicated by Superman Prime at that point. They called him Superman because they couldn't use his name Superboy. I won't get into that. But the adult Superman Prime actually went to that Earth and just wiped it out. Just wiped it out looking for his own Earth. And based on Earth 15, how it's so interesting was the fact that Superman was not Kal-El. It was not Clark. It was Zod. Or Azod. And they don't say who he is, what Zod it is. But on that world, Zod is Superman, Jason Todd is Batman, and Donna Troy is Wonder Woman, and Kyle Rayner is Green Lantern. I thought that was very interesting. And the fact, and it also had a girl Atom. And I thought that was very interesting. And they should have gone into more. And then, of course, they talk about later on that he had a wife, Superman had a wife at a fortress expecting a child. And I thought that was very interesting. Very, very interesting. And they should have gone more in depth into that Earth, figure out how everything got that way instead of just limiting it to a few issues and then wiping that Earth out. They should have done more with it. They really should have done it. They really should have done more with that Earth. I mean, that would have been very interesting to see how they all wound up getting there. And then, and of course, one of my personal favorites out of there, and one of the last, and actually was in the last issue of Countdown Search for Ray Palmer, was Earth 11. And that was an idea they've toyed with for years, and has popped up in Superman and was actually in 2 issues of Superman Batman. Earth 11 is the backwards gendered Earth. Is the backwards gendered Earth where it's Superwoman, Batwoman, Wonder Man are the big 3. Where all the men are women and all the women are men. And I found that very interesting. And the fact that Supergirl on this Earth is Super Lad. The fact that you've got a blonde guy running around, it is Superman. And I thought that was really cool too. Like I said, they should have gone. I said, that's definitely a world that I would have definitely loved to see made maybe into its own comic book series. And I would love to see, and maybe even a mini-series. I would love to have seen that world's origins play out alternately as women instead of men. I would love to have seen that. Just that idea is cool to me. The fact that you have reverse sex, or that would be, like I said, that would have been so great. And to find out there, and the fact is that hardly any of them even had any names. You hardly ever heard any of their real names, or like any of their real names or anything. They should have really fleshed that story out a little bit more, other than just limited it as they came in just in time for their world's version of Amazon's attack, which was a storyline they did at about the same time. They should have done more, and to me, that was a lot of those are really big missed opportunities. They should have done more with them. Also, during Final Crisis, they introduced a black President Superman. And a world where Superman, Wonder Woman were black, and just having Superman was President of the United States. To me, they should have done more with that. And I know that in the New 52 they're trying to do more with it, but it's not the same. He definitely don't look the same. He looks way different in a crappier suit. But they should have done more with that. If they want to establish it as Earth 23 like they did in New 52, they should have done it in the first place. Instead of just messing with it and tinkering with it and completely messing it up and then doing it. And then putting him on Earth 23, because he don't look like Superman anymore. He looks like somebody in a crappy suit. And it's terrible. I don't like it at all, what they did in New 52 with it. But they really should have tried doing it. They really should have tried it in New 52 and pre-52 in the classic universe. Like I said, to show you how many missed opportunities they had. There's so many, I can't even count them all. I can't mention them all. All I can mention, I can sum it up in one thing. There are a lot of other Earths in the multiverse that didn't have a designate to them. Before they went and did the New 52, they'd established Earth 1 in the Earth 1 books. Superman Earth 1, Batman Earth 1, like the DC Universe was coming into existence right now in the 21st century. And to me, I love that. I love it that they finally established Earth 1 as the new DC Universe. That would have been great to turn into a comic book series instead of doing New 52 garbage. But like I said, I love the Earth 1 books. I love those. And like I said, there are so many other Earths out there. I don't think Earth 4 ever got a fair shake. Earth 6 never got a fair shake. 7, 8 kind of did. But it's like I said, Earth 11. But think about it, there's Earth 13 out there. Earth 14, 16. There's like a teenage barefoot Superman with a bald head from that Earth that can basically take you heat vision and drag you to the ground, which was established in Arena issue of Arena. I said that never got a fair shake. 17 never got a real good fair shake out of it. 18 never got a fair shake. 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25. Basically 25 through 29 never got a real good shake, a fair shake. 32 was the green. It was the Batman Green Lantern and Blackest Night or Darkest Night Earth. I said, or is that 34? I don't know. I'm mixing it all up now, but like I said, there's a lot of Earths out there in the multiverse that basically did not get a fair shake or even got an established history. There's some that did, I mean, there's some that's like has like a magic medieval Superman in it. It's like a Kryptonian sorcerer and stuff like that. But there's some that really, I mean, they get a stat. I mean, there was a Earth 43. There was a Earth 40. I think it's Earth 43 where it was like the Metal Men, and they were basically robot versions of the Justice League. I mean, they could have gone more into that too. I mean, there's so much they could have done, and it's just to me the before the New 52 came along, the multiverse pre 52, the classic universe, they could have really done a lot with that. And wouldn't it really be something? And it turns out that this New 52 garbage ain't nothing but an offshoot of the multiverse. It ain't nothing but like an Earth 43 or something. Or like an Earth 53 or something like that. Or an alternate universe mess. Wouldn't it be something to find out that's what the case is? Which, to tell you the truth, that's what the New 52 should have been all along, as an alternate universe. Instead of completely overhauling one universe, it should have been an offshoot. And wouldn't it be something if it winds up being another branch of the multiverse? But, like I said, it's just such a missed opportunity they could have done. The wealth of stories they could have gotten out of that. But instead of doing that, they decided to take all that, throw it out the window, and throw most of the history out the door, and take little bits and pieces of history and tape it all together and just have this New 52 debacle. And on top of that, they're going to come out with another multiverse book. They're actually going to come out with a book that actually tries to reestablish the multiverse in the New 52. I mean, they've already alluded to Earth 1. I mean, they still got Earth 1. They still got Earth 12. They got the Smallville universe. They got Earth 2, and they got Earth 3. They got Earth 12. They got and then they're going to establish Earth 23 with the President Superman again. Like I said, and they're going to try to. And I said, Earth 22 ain't even the same. Nothing's the same anymore. And they wait till now, and they done messed up the multiverse to try to get something out of it. I'm sorry, but it's too late. You done messed it up. It's not interesting anymore. I said, it's too late to do anything now. They've missed their opportunity to actually get something good out of it, and instead they're going to try to New 52 it. I say, I'm sorry, but just count me out of it. If you ever bring back the classic universe, my advice to them, my advice to them, take those Earths that you got in the classic universe and make something out of those. I'd love to see an Earth 11 series. I would love to see other Earths get an more established history, an origin story. I would love to see that. But I don't want to see a New 52 multiverse. I'm sorry. I mean, Earth 2 seemed okay, even Earth 3, but the way they went about treating them, they've been horribly mistreated. They were horribly mistreated. I mean, they didn't even, and hey, pre-52, they didn't even get anything established with that. I mean, they kind of established enough that's like, hey, here's Earth 2, and there's Superman's missing. They never really told what happened to him. They never really told what happened to him. They just said that he was missing. And then they did the New 52, and they showed them all getting killed. They showed the big three getting killed, and then the Justice Society having established itself without any heroes. I mean, that's been horribly mismanaged. And then Earth 3 being what Pandora's box is a portal to. Sorry, no. Clever, yet no. Clever, yet impossible. That's all I got to say about that. But bottom line, in the classic universe, they really missed some genuine opportunities to establish a good, flourishing multiverse. I said you can almost blame Dan Didio for that. You can blame whoever it was responsible, but they really missed the boat on that one, and it's really sad to see. And I said they really missed the boat. I said that would have been great to see. What do y'all think? I said, do y'all think they missed the boat? Do y'all think they missed the pre-52 multiverse was a missed opportunity? Or do you think that they shouldn't have done a multiverse? Or what do you think? As always, drop me a comment in the comment box. Let me know what you think. And I guess that's all for this edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner. As always, if y'all have a comment about the show whatsoever, drop me a line in the comment box. Y'all got any ideas about anything you want to hear me talk about on here? Let me know. Let me know. Drop me a comment. I'm always open to new ideas. I'm always looking for fresh things to talk about on the show. I would love to hear from you. And just drop me a comment. I would love to hear your ideas. And I'll see y'all next time.